I've always said from the very start, when you decide to go and do this, if you do it properly, you'll come out the end of this the man that you wish that you were at the start. So one thing we've been talking about lately between us here, me and Luba, is about how important dating is as a skill set that a man must have. Now, at the moment, there's a lot of pushback against dating, aka wasting your time with women when you should be building businesses, working on your wealth. Now, this is so true for young guys, right? When it comes to establishing yourself as a man in this world, when you're a younger guy in your 20s, even in your 30s, is that you should not focus on women, because they will, for the most part, they will take up your time, right? And you have to understand that if you are in a relationship, the time that you spend with a woman is time that you cannot spend building a good foundation, right? But at some point in time, you will have to go into the dating market, right? And no matter how hard you worked when you're in your 20s or even 30s or even 40s or whatever, how much money you made, what empire you built around you, you will have to go into that dating market. And if you go into that dating market kind of a little bit awkward, not having social skills, being a little bit socially inept, as I call it, it is going to reflect on the type of woman that you're going to get in the future, right? And I know that people keep saying that like money is the most important thing, but you'll see that there's guys that were tech geeks, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg, right? He realized that at some point of time in his life that he needed to sort of step up his level, right? Sure, he's got all the money in the world. Jeff Bezos, look at him now. He's like, he's jacked, right? He realized that his money wasn't going to get him, say, women or respect in life, right? So he had to learn some other skills. So there's dating, and I know this firsthand from myself because I was always in long-term relationships, very long. Longest one was sort of on and off 8 years, but my other 2 or 3, I think, were like 4 years. And when you come out of those, you're a little bit lost as to what it is that you're supposed to do. And it's only through dating, actual dating, going out on dates, that you become better at learning how to date, right? Through experiences. And that may even come from rejection as well. So people get afraid of rejection. I think rejection is not a bad thing at all, and you should be prepared for it. And when it happens, you should embrace it and take it as part of the part of the learning curve. It doesn't matter how many books that you read on dating or how many videos you watch about how to pick up women or how to get inside the mind of the woman and try and make her feel a certain emotion, push, pull, and all these tactics that are there. Unless you go out and you actually have some real life experience, it doesn't matter. It's like if I read 10 books on how to play cricket, for example, and I thought, I know everything about cricket. I know the trajectory of the ball that's going to hit the bat and where it's going to go and how much velocity is going to be created from the ball. And I could read all of that stuff, but I'm still not as good as, say, somebody that like played cricket for like a few weeks, right? Who had that experience. This is something that, we've thought about a lot with our clients over the last, last 6 months.
It's not
right?
just we thought, we saw that. Like
we saw that. Yeah.
And usually it happening like there's two types of guys who it happening to. It's either the guy who been married for 25 years and now it's not even like 8 years relationship, it's 25 or 20, and he's like, our relationship was falling apart like a couple of years ago. Then we were still trying to stay together because of children. Now we divorced. What am I doing? So they usually have some like little romance. Like maybe there's a lady at work was sitting and waiting for him after until he got divorced. But it is different. He understands that he doesn't want to date a U.S. woman anymore, or Western woman, I should say. And then so what next? How to do what it is to be on a date nowadays? So and that is like number one example. And second is like younger guys that we have. The majority of our clients now is under 40. That is like a big surprise, and we probably will do another video about that. But the guys who are knowing how it's to be on the West, but they say, to be honest, like I am romantic, but like I had a call recently, and he say I am romantic person, but on the West it's not welcoming, or like I am caring, but it seems like weak, or I am willing to do this, so I don't know what should I do. And then we came with a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Okay. So
Accidentally, but
yeah, but it was something that we'd actually spoken about. It was like if
We
only
spoke,
they
but-
could practice before they have their actual real dates. If only they could practice, because like if a guy has a date and we're like, oh my god, why
What is he
why
saying?
would you say that? Why would you say that? And but the opportunity has passed, right? It's gone.
and sometimes he likes the lady, but like there's no way, like and
Yeah.
and some like for the younger guys, most of the ladies they do speak English, and it's nothing that I can stop him or like tell him you shouldn't say.
Yeah,
it.
we don't have an earpiece
Yeah,
in the
there's-
ear. We're
there's-
like, shut
there's-
up, like this. So what we did is like we actually, and we've done this now with, one client has gone through it, and we've got another client that's going to do it soon. So basically what we're doing is we're having what we call, I was calling them fake dates, and then I was like, just between you and me, and I was like, let's have fake dates. We changed that because
And
it
I
sounds
thought
quite good.
incredible, like all over the
Fake
internet,
dates.
it will be
Stryker-
like Luba and
Stryker-
Stryker arranging
fake-
a fake date.
But it's basically it's mock dates. So our client, we will give some direction at the start of how to start and finish the date. How do you start the date? What should you say as soon as the date opens? And then we tell you how to close it in a particular way that leaves her kind of wanting more, right? So then that's the first part. But then we have two girls, right? We're calling them Jill and Jane Doe. You were actually mixing this up. What were you calling them?
Jin and Jill.
Gin and Jill or something, I don't know. So we have two girls anyway. So they're real dates, okay? These are real dates in terms of the interaction. She's not trying to push you in any direction. If there's an awkward silence, well, you need to get out of that awkward
It's
silence.
an average Ukrainian girls, like pretty, very good English, having absolutely different lifestyles, absolutely different. And it's not that important who is that, because like we're gonna have
doesn't
more, we're gonna have like others, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But the thing is that like when we start doing that, it become like it changed my whole vision of everything. And the guys who are doing that, like he just becomes so much more confident. And when we like, because it's when we was doing a tours, and I remember how I was like in a train, like our trains, like I was coming and I say, hey guys, wait a second, like here's your book, like for the week, here's your ladies, you should and I was giving them some advices, or we can do hundreds of different videos about that. But again, as strikers say, you can read these books, but you need to practice that to be able to do it. And so like I can tell him, you should say this, you should do this. We did the video for the guys like that. We send them privately when they are about to have a call. But it's all different from the actual date, that you don't have to worry about anything, knowing that there's like nothing that it's safe environment. But then we give you a feedback and you become better. That is like that is something that like I have never heard of anybody to do. Like
Yeah, I was actually saying there's a lot of boot camps, like pickup artistry, where you go and then you go pick up on the street. But I said to Luba, I said, there's no one out there that does like a kind of structured,
because it's us.
with feedback and these mock dates, and then afterwards you actually are meeting women that are motivated, that are looking for a relationship. One of like our first client that did this, who it just kind of came about. We talked about it, and he was saying, if you guys did something like that, I would definitely be interested. We said, okay, well let's do it. And he had a date the other day, and it was like when I watched it, because we watched back the replay of the Zoom date, and I watched it, I genuinely felt proud for him that he was with us. I really did. I was like, everything he was saying, like he was.
And it's nothing fake. Like it's not that he
No.
was pretending anything, or he was not himself.
He was self-aware.
He was self-aware,
He was
and
self-aware.
he knew what topics not to speak about. Like and it's not like the topics that he's like hiding something or he's not saying, but it's like topic that is not important to discuss on the first date. We're not talking about money,
but it's also-
religion,
yeah.
like too much into war. We're not talking about like political situation or COVID or vaccination.
But it's more. It's all. The main key points for this is that to try and find out as much as you can from her, and
Make her
and keep this balance of the interaction going forward, and to keep it interesting. And by the end of the call, hopefully you've found out some of the stuff that you need to know in order to decide whether you want to continue the relationship with her, because you may do that already, but then afterwards she's like, that guy just, I don't know what that guy was talking about. He like, so it's also about presenting yourself in a way that is appealing to her, but also trying to understand as much as you can about her, and then it's the start, and then that's the start of the path going forward. So, and we're taking it through the whole way, right? So it's not just Or yeah, make sure you say something nice at the start of the date, and make sure you finish it her wanting more. It's all about the rest of it too, and this is something that we're still developing ourselves as well. Like everything that we do, we see something that needs improving, and we'll work on it. But I definitely think that there's something here that is incredibly unique that nobody else in the entire world can do, is to help someone with their feedback, give them not even ideas, but give them a loose formula for them to go forward, and then to give them real opportunities with real women that they can form relationships with.
And it's not just about the smoke dates, of course. It's a whole process, as Stryker said. And yes, we don't have a particular structure at the moment, but I don't think that we will ever have it, because I strongly believe in individual touch, individual individual approach with everybody, because somebody need more understanding of setting up goals and values that he's looking for, and why he's looking for this relationship, and what this relationship gonna bring, what kind of lady he should have. Because when we have this, with our first guy, he wrote something and I said, okay, that is all good, but you need to a little bit make it more down to earth. Not like that he was looking for some top model, but his vision was a little bit more not that practical, I would say. So with this person, we were doing it on this basis. With somebody else, he need more advice in general, like how to trust women. Maybe he need that more, because he has some issues with just also keeping up the conversation, make it interesting. And I'm not saying that we're not doing it with our clients. Of course, it's our big thing that we're supporting guys. And if I'm on a date and I hear something, I will definitely, I had a call last week, and the guy 3 times noticed and mentioned his ex-wife. And of course, after the call, I call him and I say, listen, wait a second, stop for a second. What is going on? And I said, is she on a picture? Is she calling you? Is she bothering you? And
is she in the next room?
And he said, how do you know? And I said, because it's obvious. You were speaking about her. You even did oh, she was cooking pasta. He even did this. So of course there's something about this ex-wife that is not letting him go further. But this is one thing, this is we still do. But this is a little bit different level when we just doing that. When we focus on that to help you to set up your goals, to see what you want, to try to achieve it, to practice you so you are very self-aware on a date, to give you feedback.
Yeah.
And also what is interesting, we're not just us giving a feedback, the date is also giving a feedback.
Yeah.
So the date is also saying if it is something different than from us, we're gonna let you know. But these girls are also educated, I would say, and so they're giving a feedback. And it's interesting because it's one thing that how I see that, but it's interesting how actually the potential girl can say.
But what we want to do is we want to identify the strengths and the weaknesses that the guy has before he goes out dating, because we know with our first client, his strengths and his weaknesses are completely different from the new client. Very different, yes. Right? So we can't write a course where it's you need to learn this, and this, because say our first client would say, well, and he's very he's very charismatic, he's very he's enjoyable to talk to. And he can keep the conversation going. Whereas our next client, I think maybe he needs some work more in the
presenting personality.
Well, yeah, or just keeping the conversation going. That's not saying anything bad at all. It's just the way that different people are. Different people have different strengths and weaknesses. And so what we want to do, and this is really important to me, because I've always said from the very start, when you decide to go and do this, if you do it properly, you'll come out the end of this the man that you wish that you were at the start. And that doesn't just come from just dating. It comes from the education side part of it. This is why I always recommend these books, but the books aren't enough. You need to have that practice, and you don't want to have that practice on options that could be viable options for the future. So we're trying to bridge the gap in between the theory and the practicality to hopefully go forward when you can actually implement it in something that could turn into a real functioning long-term relationship.
Yeah, and I believe it's the same as everywhere. If you're coming to the good professional, if you go to the doctor, and it's not that the doctor will give you the same prescription as he gave for 10 other patients, right? He gave you according to your allergies or not allergies. So, or anything, if you go to psychologist, or even if you're coming on one-on-one classes, language, one person is learning faster, other is slower. So, and with us as well as with the dating coaches, it's the same. We have one result, we have one goal that we want to introduce you to a lady, and we want you to be in a happy relationship. But how are we going to achieve that? It's only between us and you who are doing that. So I think this video is just like to give you this information that it's okay that you may be a bit confused and you don't know how to date. It's okay if you make these mistakes. And also to let you know that we are there for you in case you want to go deeper and try to solve a problem, or not even a problem, but you just want to become better.
Yeah, and I would say it's not only is it okay to say that to not have the skills to date for whatever reason. Maybe you were married for so many years, maybe you just focused on your business, maybe you just weren't that socially active, you're an introvert. It's okay to be like that, but the thing that you have to remember is that self-awareness is the key here. So the moment that you say, you know what, I actually have no idea, and there's nothing wrong with that, or I'm not very good at it, or I just can't really connect.
It's much
this
better,
is the key.
And it's much better than saying like, I don't need anything.
That's it.
I know everything.
That's the self-awareness part about it, is to go, okay, sure, I can learn. And anyone in this entire world can learn to be better at interacting with women. It's just the way that it is.
Absolutely.
It's a learned skill.
It's not that difficult. And we all even did a video like saying that the women are also clueless. They also don't know how to attract men. They also don't know what to say.
Luba's going to write a course for the women. It's going to be about 10 minutes long.
It was funny. Like I had a date and I record message for our partner, and she was like, she laughing from what I said about this girl, and I said like, can I like, what can I do? Like, will they listen to me? But I am willing to do like little course for women as well, because sometimes they're also missing the point, and they also like, they're very attractive, they are very nice, they're friendly, but they don't know what to speak to attract the man, because they are just talking about, you know, what they cooked, and like the cat was pregnant and now she has 3 babies, cat, and you know, like it's just like not something that the guy would be like, if you
everyone's useless, okay? Yeah. Everyone's useless. That's
and
just
it's
the way
okay,
it is.
and it's like, it's okay. That's why you're coming to people who deal with that every day and deal with it for many years, and you become more successful. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you later.